Okay, the special meeting of the DWP Board will come to order. Barbara, would you call the roll?
We have Commissioners Berard, Fleming, Funderburk, and Levine present.
Thank you. This proceeding is broadcast on Channel 35. The exact broadcast times can be found by contacting Channel 35. The first item on the agenda are opening remarks by me. I just have one announcement to make, and that is that I'm pleased to report that Commissioner Fleming and Commissioner Noonan have agreed to serve on the INYO Los Angeles Standing Committee. Commissioner Noonan will be the chairperson for all of the LA members. She's been serving on this committee before. It's a continuation, and this will be a new assignment for Commissioner Fleming, and we appreciate both of their service. We move from this item to the report briefing by the General Manager.
And I have no items today, particularly in light of a relatively full agenda that...
Good. That would be the quickest item on the extremely full agenda.
Indeed.
Comments, requests from commissioners related to LADWP operations. Do any commissioners have any comments? None. This is a very fast-moving agenda so far. Let's see how it continues to go. Public comment, we have a number of speaker cards, but they go item by item. So do we, Barbara, have any public comment at this point?
Yes, we do have one speaker for item 4.
Oh, for item 4, yes. One speaker for item number 4.
Okay, that speaker is Dr. Tom Williams. And for the speakers today, the comments will be limited to 2 minutes. Thank you.
Dr. Tom Williams, LA 32 Neighborhood Council, also Sierra Club Water Committee. So I've been around water and power for a long time. But the basic element right now is that I'm split. On Saturday, I will be representing LA 32 Neighborhood Council for the DWP liaison meeting. And there we are primarily ratepayers and advocates for ratepayers. On the other side, next Wednesday night, I'll be in the Water Committee on the green side. So we have a problem that on one side, somebody has to pay for it. On the other side, somebody wants to keep it good. We have a problem. One of the issues is getting everything in writing and up front. I always go by, in order to be on the same page, we got to have a page. And it has to be the same page that everybody else has. Unfunded liabilities are both anti-green and anti-neighborhood councils. Unfunded liabilities. How much are we going to pay long after I'm dead for water and power in the city of LA? My basic issue is get it online and get it in numbers, units that people can understand. I doubt if many people in the podium know what a CFS is. Cubic feet per second versus gallons per minute versus acre feet versus millions and billions, and even many of the issues that'll be raised today later. There's some problems and significance of those digits. So thank you for being a representative for the people of the city of Los Angeles. Thank you.
Thank you very much for pointing out what is a real challenge. Item number 5, potential comments by the ratepayer advocate.
Yes, I'm filling in for Dr. Pickle, who should be here momentarily, and would like to make note of the items he intended to comment on today, just so that you can maybe scribble him down and fit him in as those agenda items flow by. That would be item 19, the Apex purchase agreement. The special item 2, which is the renewable portfolio related material, and management report A, which is the feed-in tariff. And of course, any other questions you might have in the course of the meeting, he would be happy to entertain.
Thanks. And you do expect him to be here shortly?
Momentarily.
Very good. Thank you very much. Item number 6.
I do have a speaker card for item 5.
Oh, I'm sorry. Speaker card. Speaker for item 5.
Speaker Dr. Tom Williams.
Dr. Tom Williams. Replacement cycles. One of my favorite subjects. You'll hear a lot about replacement cycles. What's the standard of the industry? Who knows? Does anyone know? Usually it's a 100-year replacement cycle. That is pipes, cables, maybe transformers, telephone poles, wire poles. 100 years. Just give me one estimate as to what the rates would be if you replaced everything once every 100 years. You'll find that it will be a significant rate increase. Unfunded liabilities, deferred maintenance. All utilities require maintenance. If you don't have it, you have breakage, you have disruption of service, and everybody talks about reliability. But when you have a 300-year replacement cycle for this part of the system, 200 years for that part of the system, and some gentleman, very nice gentleman, told me that if I wanted my delivery wires replaced, just call up the number and tell them that you're getting sparking between the wires because the insulation is all gone. It's almost 100 years old. And I can get service if I go in and tell them that there's sparks going between the two cables. So, ratepayers advocate, great service, except let's get some real numbers. Thank you.
Thank you. We move to the consent agenda. Do any commissioners wish to remove any items from the consent agenda?
6 and 10.
I had item 10 also.
And 13. Thank you.
And I believe we need to remove item 14 from the consent agenda. Any others? Okay, that leaves items 7, 8, 9, 11, and 12 remaining on the consent agenda. Is there a motion to approve those items?
So move.
Second.
Those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Those items are approved. Item number 6, the approval of the minutes. Commissioner Barad.
Yes, thank you. In the minutes, item number 3, Commissioner Funderburk and Commissioner Barad, what is being done by Customer Service Department to improve response time for customers when they call into LADWP? I just wanted to add that my question was also specifically the emergency hotline. What is being done regarding that? Thank
So
you.
noted. With that modification, is there a motion to approve the minutes?
I'd move.
Second?
Second?
Those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? No. Minutes are approved. Okay. Item 10, Commissioner Barad.
I'd like to know specifically about what is being done with outreach, and how are we defining outreach in this particular item?
I'll have Dave Pettyjohn, our Director of Water Resources, come up and address that.
Thank you, Jim.
Hi.
Commissioner Broad. Good morning. With me today is Andy Nicknapp. He runs our stormwater capture group. And this particular item, the outreach for our stormwater capture master plan, is something that we're currently doing with, essentially, we're starting with the neighborhood councils, and we're going to expand that to the general public as well.
Right. Are you also looking for feedback? I mean, are you making a presentation, or are you also asking the public, i.e. neighborhood councils, for feedback on the program as well?
A little of both. So
Okay,
we're going to,
good.
we have been working with the public a little bit on some of the stakeholders over the years on what would go into this stormwater capture master plan. So we have done quite a bit of outreach before we launched the plan. But now we're at a point where we have something that's a little more descriptive, and we can actually talk to them about what we think might be the right thing to do here and get some more substantive feedback on a real program. So we're going to do a little of both.
Because I noticed somewhere in this massive book, I read somewhere about rain barrels, and I wondered if you were considering rain barrels and maybe some kind of rebates to the public, for rain barrels.
I'm glad you asked that question. Actually, our staff has been advocating for rain barrels with the Metropolitan Water District for quite a while, and they have recently actually offered a rain barrel program. So currently, citizens of the City of Los Angeles can get $75 for a rain barrel rebate to install a rain barrel at their homes.
That's everywhere in L.A.?
That's everywhere in the City of Los Angeles. It also covers the whole 6-county area that Metropolitan covers from Ventura to the Mexican border.
Well, that's great, because that's something I've wanted to do for a long time. So
We'd be happy to help you do that.
Yes. Okay, well, that's great news. And I think the program is great. I mean, it's really needed, and I'm so glad that you're doing it. Why does it take 4 years? Why does it take so long?
Well, actually, go ahead.
I'm sorry, the Stormwater Capture Master Plan is a 2-year program. We started that back in May of 2013, and the study is going to take 2 years. And also, the funding program that we are requesting from Metropolitan is also a 2-year program, too.
Okay, because it said 4-year here. Okay. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Commissioner Funderburk.
Yeah, I had a couple of questions on this. Are the water keeper groups being consulted closely on this program to reuse the stormwater?
Are you thinking about the NGOs who are that are interested in stormwater issues in the city?
Yeah, there's particularly the ones that are enforcing the Stormwater Clean Water Act that are. Is there any effort being made to consider? I know this is part of a larger area than what LADWP is part of, but is there any effort being made to consider coordinating with the waterkeeper groups that are reaching multi-million-dollar settlements with regulated entities to capture some of that money to use it for some of this work too?
Well, we do coordinate with all the other city departments who are involved in the stormwater issue, and we've had a long partnership with them on doing stormwater capture programs, and we try to leverage some of the county's money into these type of projects as well. And we work closely with the Bureau of Street Services and the Bureau of Sanitation. We also do a lot of work with the NGOs who are very interested in stormwater capture programs and projects, and we partner with them on a lot of these projects. One example is our Woodman Avenue project, where the River Project was a partner with us and did a lot of public outreach and a lot of work on that project in particular. So we do try to do as much outreach and find as many funding partners as we can to do these projects, because the goal is to try, of course, to try to lower the cost to us of recharging our San Fernando groundwater basin, and the more partners like Metropolitan with this action and others that we can get to lower those costs, it really makes these stormwater projects more economical for us.
And how about working with the ratepayers that are also regulated entities that can assist in the stormwater recharge? Are you doing that as well?
I guess I'm a little confused about which ratepayer entities.
Entities that are compliant under stormwater regulations, that they have their own regulations to comply with. consider diverting some of the stormwater that they're gathering on their sites to other recharge areas rather than putting it in the MS4 to go out to the bay?
Well, we do work through Prop O to access a lot of those funds to do stormwater projects throughout the city, and that's one source of funding for stormwater projects that we access with others. I don't know if that answers your question or not. But.
I'll follow up. Yeah.
Okay.
I'll follow up with you later.
Yeah, well, I would like to follow up with you, Commissioner, on that. One of the things on our stormwater capture projects is we have to be, because we're spending water ratepayer money on these, we're primarily interested in projects that are going to have a drinking water benefit, i.e. that they would recharge a drinking water aquifer. So, and sometimes those align up with TMDL compliance type projects, but sometimes they don't. But I'd be interested in, you're obviously very knowledgeable about this, we should probably talk to you offline and find out who the regulated entities you have in mind, and we'll make sure that we follow up and coordinate with them.
Yeah, I think there's numerous opportunities to reach out to some of your commercial ratepayers and leverage the relationship and divert some stormwater and get some of these groundwater aquifers recharged more quickly.
We'll set up a meeting and follow up with you.
Yeah, thank you.
If I could raise just one more point, because you'll be hearing more about this probably about 6-7 months from now, as we pull together our efforts to evaluate our ability to accelerate our urban water management plan goals. Certainly looking at stormwater capture as one of the many elements of our local water supply plan, putting that in context both in terms of the volumes, the rate at which we could accelerate that, and the relative cost of stormwater versus recycled water, groundwater cleanup, and conservation. I know you'll be very interested in participating in that as we drill down more into that as an overall mix and portfolio.
I think that some of the commercial ratepayers would be interested in a modest, some type of credit as well for participating in recharging, and just put that on the big to-do list.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Jill, did you have something more?
One last question. The total is 828,000 and change. And then half is in grant funding, and then the other half, DWP is contributing over $400,000. Where is that money coming from?
That money does come out of our budgeted funds for our stormwater program.
And just to be clear, that's funded by revenues that are come from our water customers.
So it's from the ratepayer?
Correct.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Other comments, questions? Is there a motion to approve?
I have a speaker card for this one.
Oh, I'm sorry. I keep skipping the speaker cards, which is something I will not do any longer. Speaker for this item?
Dr. Tom Williams.
Dr. Tom Williams, Sierra Club Water Committee. One of the issues on the very front page of it says seawater desalinization. Is this study going to include seawater desalinization? If it does, Sierra Club will be all over it like we were all over the Poseidon project that went through the Coastal Commission. Take it off, please.
Let me ask, why don't we direct that question?
And the answer is no. This will not do anything with seawater desalination. This is strictly a stormwater program. A little broader answer on our seawater desalination is that we've looked into it and found that stormwater capture and water recycling and water conservation actually are cheaper alternatives than seawater desalination. So we decided to pursue those alternatives currently.
And the reference that Dr. Williams is referring to is a reference to the Metropolitan Funding Program that is providing the money to us, the $400,000 to us. For other agencies they've included seawater desalination as potential funding recipients. That's not what we applied for. We're strictly asking for money for our stormwater capture master plan.
That's correct.
Is that reassuring?
That would be very, very nice. Regarding rain barrels, thank you for bringing it up. Rain barrels, totally ineffective. Here's a good example based upon Bureau of Sanitation and their stormwater program. And they have another stormwater program, rain barrels. One roof of 1,000 square feet gives you about 400 gallons per standard, was typical storm of 3/4 of an inch. 400 gallons. How many rain barrels do you usually see? LA City Bureau of Sanitation requires only 2 rain barrels, roughly 80 to 100 gallons. You're losing 5,000 acre feet per year by the fact that you only have 2 rain barrels rather than 8 that you would need to contain 400 gallons from the standard storm. So let's get realistic. Let's get real about it. Because, yes, stormwater is an easy one. I use all of my Bureau of Sanitation rubbish bins, 6 of them, to collect rainfall. Hopefully it doesn't come on Sunday night. So there are some real things here. There's real water that can be provided. So rain barrels, if you're going to use them, get enough to make it worthwhile. Because every multi-family dwelling, every commercial building has to contain 62 cubic feet of runoff from every 1,000 square foot. But single-family residents don't. Thank you.
Thank you. Now, is there a motion in support?
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor?
Aye.
None opposed? Motion carries. Our next item is item number 13. Commissioner Fleming.
Yeah, I just had a couple questions about this, the letter of credit that's being issued. The purpose that says the letter of credit is needed to ensure that the California Department of Fish and Wildlife has sufficient funds to acquire habitat lands if the LADWP is unable to comply with the terms of the ITP. So I'd like to know whether or not we think that that's a real possibility, that we're not going to be able to comply with the terms. And then what are we doing in terms of managing or monitoring the funds that this letter of credit will provide to make sure that we are satisfying the terms of the ITP?
Hi, Chuck Holloway, Manager of Environmental Assessment and Planning. And the incidental take permit says that we will either acquire replacement habitat before we start construction, or we have to put up kind of a security deposit. And gosh, I forgot what the first question was.
Well, I mean, do we think that we're going to, because it's
we don't think we're going to
there,
default,
right?
and we know we're going to come up with the replacement land, but we want to start construction next month. And in order to do that, we have to come up with a security deposit in the form of a letter of credit. Now, that will just be held on to for the 18 months. We have 18 months from when we begin construction to acquire the lands and turn it over to the California Department of Fish and Wildlife. And so that's the reason for the letter of credit.
Right. I get why the letter exists, but it just says if we're unable to comply with the terms of the ITP. So we think we're not going to comply with the terms of the ITP?
That was their wording.
That wouldn't have been your wording?
No.
Okay.
We know we're going to comply with it. We're already in the process of trying to identify lands and how we might go about acquiring those. And I understand once we've identified those, before we actually purchase, we would come back to this board and get approval to do that.
So do you think you're going to spend the 1.1?
No, we believe it's going to be a lot less than that, but that's what the security deposit required.
But you're going to come back at some point anyway to...
Yes, before we would actually acquire the lands, and then they would be transferred, or we would go through possibly a third party to acquire them for us. And if we do that, we would go through an RFP process.
Okay, great, thank you.
Any other questions? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Is there a motion?
I'll move.
Second? Those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? It carries. Mr. General Manager, what is the process here for number 14?
I think our plan now is to break into to close session and give the proper admonition from council there.
We'll actually do two closed session items. We will recess in a closed session on item 28A4, and then we will also be recessing in a closed session with respect to item 14, as there is a security issue pertaining to essential services in accordance with Section 54957A of the code.
What were the first ones that you named?
2884.
Do we intend to cover
Just 28A4 and item 14 are the two items.
That's it?
Yes, at this time.
At this time. Okay. So we will go into closed session for those items and resume the open session as soon as those items have been discussed in closed session. Thank you. I wondered.
We're rolling?
That's probably right.
We are recording.
Well, after you do get on that standing committee.
We are recording.
Everything's gonna change.
Oh, good.
We're recording?
Recording, okay, we're back in session. We're going to do the following order of items. We're going to go to item 24, then item 23, then item 14. Just for informational purposes, I'll mention that we will need to recess the special meeting sometime after 11 and convene the regularly scheduled meeting that was set for 11 to do one item there, and then we'll go back to the special meeting. But for now, we go to item number 24 on the agenda, approval of amendment to the Water and Power Employees Retirement Plan to create a new tier, to suspend reciprocity, and to make other technical changes. And who will be addressing us on that?
I do have one speaker card for this item.
One speaker card for this item before we call on staff.
Okay, the speaker is Dr. Tom Williams.
Okay.
Dr. Tom Williams, LA 32 Neighborhood Council. Unfunded liabilities. Can't we get a single system going someplace, somehow? Can't we figure out what it's really going to cost us, not this year, not next year, but say over the next 25 years? Because whenever I did consultancy, I had to do ability to pay. Ability to pay. Who's going to be paying and how much in 25 years? Asian Development Bank required that we show that it could be paid by the ratepayers. We had projects that could not go forward because we proved that they could not be paid for with the people that were going to be using the service. Costs of labor. Just this morning, we spent probably roughly $100 per hour times 15 minutes waiting for the meeting to start, times 60 or 70 people sitting, doing nothing, basically, for 15 minutes. That becomes an issue. Efficiency of use. But first off, let's, get a reasonable projection as to number of employees. Oh, by the way, my infamous, where's the organization chart for 10,000 people and a $6 to $7 billion revenue? So agreements, yes, we need labor. We need to know what the labor is going to cost. Which tier? How many tiers are we going to have? Can't we come up with a simpler, more understandable system? Thank you.
Thank you. Item 24.
Good morning. My name is Sangeeta Bhatia, Retirement Plan Manager, and Paul Angelo from Siegel Consulting is on my right, and Mr. CAO, Miguel Santana. The item presented here for your consideration and approval today is a resolution to amend the Water and Power Employees Retirement Plan by making two changes, by establishing a new set of pension benefits for new hires effective January 1 called Tier 2, and suspend the reciprocal arrangement as it currently exists between DWP and the City of Los Angeles. A comparison of the new Tier 2 benefits with current benefits is provided in Attachment 2 in your board packages. To recap, the major changes in Tier 2 consist of changes in eligibility requirements, changes in the method of calculation, caps on the pension benefit to about 80% of final compensation, increase in employee contributions, increase in the retirement age to 63 years to receive the maximum retirement factor of 2.1%, a requirement to have at least 10 years of service to retire, caps on the annual cost of living adjustment, and purchases of other government service credit at full actuarial cost. As required by the city charter and the plan, These changes were reviewed by Siegel Consulting, and all of these changes are expected to result in significant future cost savings for DWP, and these are noted in the fiscal impact statement in your board packages, as well as in the actuarial report that's attached and included in your board package. Of course, the actual savings, will depend on the number of Tier 2 members who come in and gradually replace Tier 1 members. Per state law notification requirements, this item was presented to you on December 19th for your information. Once this is approved, this resolution will be taken to the Retirement Board for their adoption. That is scheduled to happen on December 11th, next week, and after which it will be incorporated in the plan document. And I'll be happy to take any questions.
I think you said it was presented on December 19th, or I may have misheard you, but it was November 19th, I believe.
Excuse me,
Yeah.
November 19th.
Just for the sake of the minutes.
Yes.
Are there questions or comments on this item from any of the commissioners, and/or do Mr. Santana, do you want to add anything to this presentation?
The only thing I'll add is that this is part of a comprehensive settlement that was negotiated over a 2-year period. It also includes item number 23, which is a new MOU. The combined projected savings from both the MOU itself as well as the new pension tier is approximately $456 million over the next 4 years, and about $5.2 billion over the next 30 years. So this agreement goes a long way in helping reduce the labor costs of the department, reducing the expected increases in rates in the future.
Thank you very, very much. In light of the fact that you have appropriately made comments both about item 24 and 23 because they're linked, I'm going to take the liberty of saying something about the combined impact of these two items as well. I was going to wait till item 23 came up, but I think it's appropriate to discuss them together. Essentially, this is a marvelous combination of proposals, and those of you who worked so hard to put it together deserve a great deal of praise. As we all know, much has been written about this administration's relationship with the IBEW, and the proposed settlement before us on these two items together and all of its elements demonstrates what can be done when we work together to ensure the long-term sustainability of the DWP. I want to emphasize the points that Mr. Santana made. This settlement will save our ratepayers billions of dollars over the next 30 years and reduce the growth of future rate increases. These numbers are worth referencing and focusing on. The 4-year savings estimates of these items combined are close to $500 million, $450 million, and the 30-year savings estimates are $4.5 billion, actually somewhat more than $4.5 billion, $4.7 billion. These are extraordinarily important numbers to our ratepayers. This settlement resolves a contentious conflict between the DWP and the City of Los Angeles. And we should mention that while we're part of the same family, we have separate fiduciary responsibilities, and both sides need to pursue as aggressively and appropriately as they can those fiduciary responsibilities that they have. To protect the DWP's pension system, all new city employee transfers into the department will need to cover their pension liability and not burden the ratepayers with that additional cost. This is a very significant change. This settlement also includes comprehensive pension reform for all new hires, another significant change. And as part of this settlement, we're also approving a new labor agreement with the IBEW. This new agreement defers a 2% raise due this October for 4 years from now. A 4-year deferral of what would have been 2% and potentially additional increases over the next 4 years. And for 3 consecutive years, members of the IBEW union agreed to no raises. This is a very significant and very helpful compromise for our ratepayers. Finally, this agreement reduces the starting salary for over 30 job classifications found in the DWP and in the city. So really, I believe it's appropriate to say that this is an historic day for this department and shows that together, working together, we can do what is right for our employees and for our ratepayers. I want to salute particularly Mr. Santana for his hard work in putting this together. This was not an easy chore, and you deserve, and your staff and your colleagues deserve a great deal of credit for what you're bringing to us today.
Thank you.
Are there other comments or questions on either 23 or 24? I guess we're going to be essentially considering them together at this point, although we'll vote on them separately. Commissioner Barad.
When you get to 23, are you?
Well, we can discuss them both together unless, and we'll vote on them both separately. We've kind of both opened up 23 and 24 for discussion.
Sure. The only thing we need to do is there's a different group presenting 23, and also we need to open up for public comment on 23 as well.
Okay, although we don't have any cards on 23. So,
Because I just had questions on 23.
go ahead and raise them, and if other people need to come up to help answer them, we'll do that.
It could be that Mr. Santana could answer.
We could also ask the labor team from the DWP to come up.
We need an additional chair. Commissioner Barad.
Okay, thank you. My question refers to contracting out. And I don't, let's see, this is our worksheet, page 5 of 5, and it's item number 10. A reduction in the offering of overtime requirement from 10% to 5% as a result of contracting out for administrative, clerical, and supervisory, clerical, and administrative units. And then further back, I think this is the Appendix B, contracting out, paragraph 6. And I read it 3 times, and I still have trouble understanding what this means. And they're talking about alternatives to contracting out. DWP shall use at least 5% overtime to meet maintenance and business needs. And I guess my question is, if the work is contracted out, then what is the staff person doing?
I'll speak to the intent of that language since I negotiated it, and then I could have Thomas speak to the specific verbiage since that department prepared it. The intent was, when you look at your workforce, and if you run a private business, if you're choosing to contract out a function, you want to make sure that you're maximizing the current workforce that you have before you bring in an outside contractor. So the question is, how do you define what maximizing that workforce is? The way the contract has been stated, it's defined by 10% of the capacity based on overtime. So it's 100% of your workforce working regular hours plus an additional 10%. And so you would define maximizing your current existing workforce based on that formula. When we started looking at how do we provide the department greater flexibility, we talked about various options, and one of the options that we considered was to eliminate that requirement altogether. Now, there are pluses and minuses to doing that. If you eliminate any language referencing contracting out, then the union still has a right to meet and confer on any contracting out that takes place, and that takes a very long time to complete. This language essentially is a waiver from that and establishes a threshold saying that you must maximize that workforce at 110%. Now, when we worked with the department to figure out where is it that you need greater flexibility, one of the first areas that Ron talked about was specific around the non-field related positions. And so we were able to negotiate reducing that threshold from 110% of your workforce working to 105%. So the threshold was reduced for the classification of work that are generally non-field related as a first step. It wasn't a removal of the language altogether, in part because that adds the added complexity of having to actually negotiate and meet and confer every time you choose to contract out, which is burdensome and complicated, but it does give the department greater flexibility around that. So the specific language I could have Thomas sort of reference.
Thank you. And just to add to what Mr. Santana indicated, prior to this current agreement before you, the department had a 10% overtime threshold where employees would have to perform the actual work in order to get compensated. And that's basically for any bargaining unit work that would be contracted out. That is not changing. The only thing that's changing is the actual percentage amount. So it's going to be reduced from 10% to 5%, specifically for these bargaining units here, the admin, clerical, and the supervisory, clerical, and admin. So the concept has been in existence for years in this department, but the only real change here is the actual dollar amount. It's going to be cut in half for those units, and it'll remain status quo for the other units.
And I'd like to clarify, just pointed, this has been established in the existing negotiated bargain term that has been established in the existing memorandum of understanding between LEDWP and the IBEW. So this is changing a segment of our employees that get 5% instead of 10%. And again, because there has been some misunderstanding of this issue, they have to work the overtime to get paid for the overtime.
Right, that's my question.
Right.
Yeah, that's my question, because I understand that this has been negotiated, but it wasn't clear in this paragraph, do they work
Absolutely.
the time? It just looks like they get it.
No, they have to work
That's why
the
I'm
time.
saying, what do they do? Okay, so they have to work. Thank you for clarifying that. That was my question. Okay.
No, I
Thanks,
understand
everybody.
it's been a little bit unclear, and I appreciate you raising the question. Thank you.
Thank you.
Other questions or comments on 23 or 24? Okay, we will accept a motion on item 24. Is there a motion to support this amendment to the Water and Power Employees Retirement Plan to create a new tier? Second. Those in favor?
Aye.
None opposed. It's unanimously approved. Item 24 is there a motion in support of 23? So, second. Those in favor? Aye. Both approved. Thank you all
Thank
again.
you.
Thank you, Miguel, very much. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we will now go to item 14. Approval of the 2013 grid reliability study dated December 31st, 2013.
Section 3B3 of the statewide once-through cooling policy adopted May 10th, 2011 requires the LADWP to prepare and submit a grid reliability study by December 31st of each year to the State Water Resources Control Board.
This is our annual update, and it's there were no significant changes to our previous year's reports. It was updated to contain our latest load forecasts and operational information. The purpose of the report is to affirm that our schedule, as it now exists, will not impact reliability of the DWP system, and the report does indicate there is no concern.
The resolution before you will need to reflect that we need to have adoption of both the full and the redacted versions in paragraphs 4 and 5.
Questions, comments? Is there a motion?
So move.
So one of you moved, one of you seconded. Barbara can decide who did it. Those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? No. It's approved. Thank you very much. Okay, Mr. Counsel.
So at this point, we will actually recess the 9 o'clock special meeting, and we will convene